We start. Jai Jagannath, welcome. I hope the quality of the sound is working.
Yeah, now it's much better. I think
Okay, yeah, well, we are trying to improve our technical and logistical situation. So, yeah, today we continue to discuss about the food and specifically about fasting. Because today, for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Saraswata Gaudiya Vaishnavas, it is Nirjala Ekadashi. For everybody,
Recording is on.
oops, okay, and for everybody else, it was yesterday. This is an old complication that I used to, yeah, this buddy, they call me, one of my contacts called me, they said, well, I don't understand, is the Ekadashi today or tomorrow? Yes, but what is the Ekadashi? When is the Ekadashi? So, Ekadashi is a TT. It means it's a lunar day, calculated on the moon. So it's not always on the same day. And sometimes it falls a bit earlier or a bit later compared to the solar day. But that, some calculations can be done. It's not a big problem. The real problem is that I have observed, because in the many years I was living in India, I noticed that Orthodox Hindus, including the various Vaishnava groups, observe Ekadashi one day earlier. I mean, on the day they call Ekadashi. While the Saraswata Gaudiya Vaishnavas observe Ekadashi the next day. Now, I don't know, because this has no, connection, no explanation based on the different time zones. Because in the same time zones, Orthodox Hindus, they have one day, and the Saraswata Gaudiyas, they have the next day. I saw that in Puri, and I was discussing this point with many people. And for many years, I actually observed the Ekadashi for 2 subsequent days. So I said, okay, whichever is the right one will come into the picture. But then at some point, I got a bit tired, and I shifted more towards the Orthodox Hinduism, and I was not so enthusiastic about the Saraswata system, the Saraswata Gaudiya Vaishnava. So anyway, my conclusion is that it is not so important on which day we observe Ekadashi. The important thing is that we keep 2 days a month as Ekadashis for fasting, whatever degree of fasting, and to remember Vishnu, and to, engage in spiritual and religious activities. It's like a holiday. Because when we do fasting, we are not supposed to do our normal activities. In Sanskrit and in Indian languages, fasting is called upavas, which is the same root as Upanishad, right? So upavas means staying near, staying under, staying at the feet. In this sense, it's saying at the feet of God, near the feet of God. So in Ekadashi, we should suspend all the other work, all the other duties, all the other activities, and just focus on spiritual life. This is why we are fasting. So the Vedic system, the original Vedic system, especially for grihastas, requires the grihasta to sit down for breakfast only after all the pujas and duties have been completed. So if you don't complete all the pujas, you continue the pujas, you don't eat. Very simple. There are different degrees of fasting. The different types of people can choose, according to the level of their abilities, to abstain usually from grains. Because grains, seeds, when we eat the seeds, we are actually killing a jiva. We are killing, that living entity is not germinated yet, not developed yet, but we stop its development. We cook the seeds, we boil the rice, we cook the atta, and grind the atta and everything. That seed is not going to survive. So this is why we usually abstain from eating seeds, and we are supposed to eat what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita: Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Patram means leaf, Pushpam means flower, Phalam means fruit, and Toyam means water. Now, if we eat leaves, flowers, and fruits, we are not killing any seed. Especially because usually when we eat the fruits, we are removing the seeds. So we are not eating them. So this is the diet for the yogi. Now, of course, different traditions have modified things a lot. Like, for example, another typical ingredient of the diet of the vanaprasthas and sadhus and the people who live in the forest is roots. So eating roots, you're not actually killing the plant, because you can just cut off a piece, and the plant will continue to survive. Now, this is why there are several fasting recipes that include roots, like, for example, potatoes, of all the types of potatoes, and tapioca means, how you call it, tapioca in Hindi. Anyway, I don't remember the name, but tapioca is also coming from a root. Yeah.
I haven't heard of it.
I can check, because it's very popular. Like, you can make a kiri. Let me see. Tapioca Hindi. It's called sabudana, sago.
Oh, okay.
Sago, sabudana.
Mm-hmm.
So this is coming from a root. So this is why lots of people use this sabudana sago to make kiri, to make khichdi, to make lots of preparations, soups, patties, cutlets, That is a traditionally, a type of recipe. Of course, this is also something you cook. So it kind of defeats a little bit the purpose, because we are supposed to take just a little bit of fruits and maybe some leaves, some water, some milk. People used to have cows, and of course the cows need to be milked every day because you cannot just say, oh, I'm fasting today, I'm not going to milk the cow. Not a good idea. Because that is very disruptive for cows and even for calves. Because we could say, someone who is a big sentimentalist could say, oh, today is Ekadashi, I'm not going to take the milk from the cow, I will let the calf drink all the milk. This sounds like a good idea, but it's actually a very bad idea. Because the calf will do indigestion. And the calf will be sick. And will not be able to take all the milk, because the cow is giving much more milk than what the actual calf can drink. So a lot of milk will remain in the cow, and the cow will suffer, and the next time the milk produced will be less. So it's a mess. So it's better if we have a cow in our family. We milk the cow as usual. Either we use the milk for making some milk sweets, or we just drink the milk sweets like that. This is still without the need of any seeds. Some people like in Jagannath Puri, they are a bit weird because they think some of the temple sevakas are very clever, so they think they can cheat. They can easily cheat. So they actually do one thing. They have one vigraha of Ekadashi Devi in the Sri Mandir, and on the day of Ekadashi, instead of doing the puja to the deity of Ekadashi Devi, they tie the deity up. So the Ekadashi cannot create any problems to them. Which is like, haha. They're funny. Real people are funny. Anyway, so, and then, because they are convinced that as representatives of Jagannath, they have defeated Ekadashi Devi, instead of honoring Ekadashi, as a sign of respect for Vishnu. Anyway, so they eat any food, normal food, but they try to eat only Mahaprasad, only the prasadam from the temple. So they eat rice and dal and everything from the offering. So prasadam, the same prasadam, is transcendental, does not break Ekadashi. In any case, prasadam is stronger than Ekadashi. We tie the Ekadashi up so that she cannot do anything. So on the other end of the range, on the opposite side, we find people who do not even drink water. Nirjala Ekadashi means without water. That is supposed to be one Ekadashi only in the entire year, and this is a special provision that traditionally it is said that it was established to counteract the the fact of not observing Ekadashi for the rest of the year. So it is said that if you observe Nirjala Ekadashi by doing some extra austerity, by not even drinking water, not taking anything, not even drinking water, you will balance the, and neutralize the fact if you have never observed the Ekadashi all along 1 year. I believe this is some kind of later idea that developed, because sadhana doesn't work like that. Sadhana has the purpose of training the mind. So it has to be regular. The idea that you can't just forget all sadhana and just do a big austerity on 1 day, only 1 day per year, it could be useful for some people, like for example people who have a very difficult work conditions, so they cannot really observe Ekadashi normally, so they take 1 day per year, they go on chutti, they say, no, I'm not there, I'm sick, whatever, so they don't, they concentrate a lot. But the danger here for this type of Nirjala Ekadashi is that one develops a bigger ego. So, the false ego, the arrogance, the abhiman, we say, I'm such a big tapasvi, I did Nirjala Ekadashi, so I don't need to do anything else. And this is tricky, because this is not how you control the mind. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is saying that the mind can be controlled only by constant practice and detachment, not by doing huge austerities and developing a big ego, because that's not helping much. And there are some people who actually try to do it every Ekadashi. Some people, I was told, especially in the previous generations, some very orthodox Brahmins, they were not even swallowing their own saliva. So when the saliva was forming in the mouth, they used to spit it out. Because they were saying, I'm breaking my fast. If I swallow my saliva, I'm breaking my fast. Which is like, no, I don't think so. There is also another famous saying that probably, developed later on by this idea of not even drinking water during the fast, which is, because in fact, spending the entire day and night until the next morning without drinking any water, especially in the summer, it's very painful, and it's not so good for health, So what happened that many people were trying to cheat, to sneak, when they're going for bath, and they were submerging themselves, and they were drinking some water under, while they were taking bath, so without anyone noticing, because they were afraid of social criticism, so they could not be seen actually drinking from a cup, so they were cheating a bit by drinking, keeping their mouth open when they were going under the water for taking bath. So this is not going to help much, because the fundamental principle of dharma is satya. So if you're not honest, your religious observance kind of becomes, not very sattvic. Becomes more rajasic, and even could become a little tamasic. This is not a good idea. This regards, these are as far as the religious and spiritual aspect of the fasting is concerned. Now, for the physical aspect of the fasting, definitely fasting is a very good health technique. It's a healing technique. If it is done properly. Like, for example, I have myself, made the experiment, like 2 years ago I went 2 months fasting, and it was very good for my health. And but you have to drink water, of course, and you have to take rest. You cannot be stressed, because getting stressed, having to do, to face lots of problems during the fasting is actually going to take away lots of energy, and can also have some detrimental health effects. Another important thing to do from the health point of view when we fast, we should break our fast in a gradual and light manner. So what happens when we fast? The Ayurvedic medicine explains that we always have some impurities, some residues in our digestive system. That is called mala, impurities. That, because if we eat very often, the digestive system is not able to become completely empty. So it's just like, we can make an example, when you cook some, you cook some dal in a pot, but you take out the dal, but you don't clean the pot completely. There is still something on the bottom. So instead of actually washing the pot nicely, for the next meal, immediately you start cooking, by using the same pot. So this residue goes into the new soup, and on and on and on. So, for example, the Chinese cooking, has this technique as a real, actual cooking technique. They call it the soup of the 1,000 days or something like that. So they actually keep the same soup in the same pot forever. They just add some more and take out some and add some more stuff. So there is, if there is some contamination going on, some bacteria or something, they just boil them all together. So, it's it's not exactly a good cleaning habit. So in the same way, there are some fasting days. Ekadashis are usually observed by Vaishnavas. Why? Because in general, the avatars of Vishnu appear on Dwadasi. So the Vaishnavas fast the day before the appearance of the avatar, and then the morning, when after they do the puja, they celebrate, they have a little feast. So, for example, Vamana, the two most prominent examples are Vamana and Varaha, who are still in the Vaishnava calendar, popular in the Vaishnava calendars. But also all the other most of the other avatars like Matsya Kurma, Varaha, Vamana. Then Nishinga appears on Chaturdasi because it is also connected with Shiva. Then Krishna appears on Ashtami because he's also connected with Durga. And Rama also appears on Navami because he's also connected with Durga. But otherwise, the other avatars of Vishnu usually Parashurama appears on Dwadashi, and so on. So for the Vaishnavas, we have these two Ekadashis that are easy to remember, plus a certain number of other special appearance day of the main personalities of Vishnu, such as we said, Rama, Krishna, and Nishinga. For the devotees of Shiva, more important than Ekadashi is the Chaturdashi. Actually, they are supposed to fast every Chaturdashi because also the most important of which is Shivaratri, which falls on Chaturdashi. Then usually devotees of Shiva also fast on Mondays. Then we have different people, they can choose the day when they want to fast. Like, for example, in the Orthodox Karmakanda Purvamimamsa tradition, people used to fast on Purnimas, the full moon, and on Amavasya, the new moon. Then Ashtami is the typical, Ashtami, Navami are the typical days for worshipping the Mother Goddess, specifically Durga. Thursday is Puja day for Lakshmi. Tuesday and Saturdays are the specific days dedicated to Hanuman, and so on. So Saturdays for Shani, and like that. We have all the planets. So when you go to a Vedic astrologer, if you have some problem with some planet, they will tell you to do the puja for that specific planet. And the puja, requires chanting some japa and offering some items in the arati, and observing the fast until you have completed all the puja. Then you take prasad, which you have offered during the puja, and then you can usually eat a little bit, not too much, because otherwise it's going to send you to sleep. So this is the idea of fasting. For example, in Shivaratri, devotees fast sometimes the day, but especially on the night, and they stay up all night. The famous Jagran. The Shivaratri, we have specifically the wake, the Jagran. And people stay up and they sing and they chant and they read the Shastra, and they go for darshan, and they offer arati and puja and everything. And this is also supposed to be for Ekadashi, for the Vaishnavas. They are supposed to engage in spiritual and religious activities. Otherwise, just fasting is also good, but it can be better. Because if we fast without remembering Vishnu, it's better that we remember Vishnu and we eat some food. Of course, remembering, eating food is something that we do regularly, so it is something that helps our awareness. This is why in all religions there is the natural Sanatana Dharma tendency to do a little bit of meditation and purification of sanctification of the food before you start eating. Because this is not particularly just in Hinduism, but it is in all human beings. It's a natural tendency. Okay, any questions until now?
Yeah, I have, but maybe if you want, you can complete, and maybe
okay.
I can ask you.
Yeah, I more or less I said whatever was coming to my mind. Please
Okay.
ask the questions.
Yeah. Okay. So my question is related to, like, you were saying that you may, if you're doing Nirjala Ekadashi, and then, like, it may boost your ego that, okay, you
Yeah.
are able to do it and all that. So how to control that? Like, how to keep a check on that your ego is not boosted with, like, whatever austerities you're doing.
Well, in the same way that we are supposed to control our ego in all other activities. Now, you know that in the Karma Kanda, the Purma Mimamsa, ritualistic activities, all the Brahmanas will tell you that you have to repeat Idam Namama. Idam Namama means this is not mine, it is not ahankara and mamatra. It's not for me, it's not something I am doing for myself. And another very popular line that is supposed to be recited is Krishna Marpanamastu, which means, this is for Vaishnavas especially, that means I am doing this for Krishna, as a service to Krishna. Now, what is the ego? The ego is the ahankara and namatra. And whenever we remember that whatever we do is not for our own self, for our aggrandizement, for our glory and power and benefit, but it is just to serve God, just to serve the universal community, just to do, this is our duty. We do our duty in the best possible way. Sometimes we can do better, sometimes we can do less better. This is how we keep our ego, to the minimum. A certain amount of ego or ahankar is required because this is a natural material element. You remember the 8 material elements, 5 are the gross elements and 3 are the subtle elements. The Pancha Mahabhuta, they're these earth, water, fire, air, and ether, akash, And the 3 subtle elements of material nature are the manas, buddhi, and ahankar. Means the mind, intelligence, and the ego. We need the ego to do our duty, our work. Because, we need to have the sense of our responsibility, because otherwise even the notion of duty loses, meaning. Because if I am completely not the karta, so what is my duty? I don't have any duty. And which is Krishna saying, I don't want anything, I don't desire, I don't aspire to anything. Still, I'm performing my duty, I'm performing my work. So, this idea of my duty, my work, my position, my role, is a type of ego that we can spiritualize in the sense that we don't identify as the karta and the bhokta, but we identify as the sevaka, the servant, the dasosmi. This is another way of reminding ourselves. So it is. This is the same for all other activities. Like when we do the puja, when we write books, when we take care of our family, when we do our work, when we perform our social, professional duties and everything. So again, it's the same. We should not allow our ahankara, our ego, to become inflated because we are so good. No, actually, we are all good because the Atma is the same. Everybody is the same. The Atma is the same everywhere. Only we have differences in bodies and minds, and we have to do our duty according to our body and mind, our guna and karma. So this is the same, like remembering, for example, one example that I like a lot, someone working in a bank, So someone who's working, is a, employee in a bank is, taking money, giving money, and putting money away, and, and lots of money is passing through his hands. So how he can keep his ego down and not delude himself that he has become very rich? The only way is to remember that I just work here. So it's not mine. Idam namama. This is not mine. Krishna Arpa Namastu. I am doing this for Krishna, for the bank, for my employer or whatever, but I'm not doing this for myself. Are you following?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a part of natural, legitimate, healthy satisfaction from the performance of our duty. Because, that is actually good. In fact, we should all be proud of our good work. Because that is encouraging us to do the best we can. And it is also encouraging other people to also do their duty, do their work in the best possible way. So, it is not a bad thing. The problem comes when we say this is mine. So I am a big scholar. I am a big religious leader. I am a big whatever. And then it's a problem. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. You want
And
to,
same can be said
yeah.
for our regular sadhana also, that
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. Whatever, even not in the sadhana, but for example, if you, I don't know, if you have some special talent, like you're a good cook or you write very nicely, or you can paint and make drawings and paintings very nicely, or you can have a very nice voice, you sing, whatever. So many things that can be, impressive based on our specific guna and karma, our specific body and mind, things that we can do very well. But we should always remember that we can do these things very well only because our body and mind. And we are not the owner. Body and mind are just material elements that belong to the material energy. And the material energy belongs to God. So this body and mind we have now is just a temporary situation. Especially you can see that with the body, with the physical body, it's extremely temporary, especially in Kali Yuga. So we can avoid being excessively proud of our material body, or the things that we can do with our material body. And to a point, we can also learn to become detached from our material mind. And this will enable us to do, a very good service and still not be identified with the ahankara and mamatra. So still free. Okay. So if you have some other question, otherwise we'll close here and we'll reconvene again for the next meeting. Any question?
No, nothing as such. Discussion.
That particular. So, what do you do for Ekadashi usually? Or what
usually
like?
Like today for Nirjal, I'm doing Nirjal. Usually I do Niraha, as in I only take water.
Oh, okay. So that's very good. Your family is supporting you.
Yeah. Like initially when I started, I slowly, I used to take that this sabudana and all earlier. Then I moved to fruits, then to milk, and then Niraha. So initially, they used to push, oh, you will feel hungry, you will feel lazy, you will feel this, that. I said, I'll manage.
Yeah, that's very good. You have succeeded in educating your family, very, very, very intelligently. Because that is the main problem. If the family, the people we live with, we work with, are not supportive, it is even more difficult. But so today also it is not office day.
Yeah, that's good.
That's even better.
Otherwise, yes.
That's even better. So you can take rest and relax, and maybe you can read something. If you have if you feel.
We were reading some scripture during daytime.
Excellent.
With family members.
Excellent.
Now in evening we'll do kirtan. So.
Excellent. Maybe during the day you can also sneak in some japa.
Yeah.
Perfect. This is a perfect Ekadashi. I really commend your very good work. So
this happens when you have holiday or this.
It's much easier.
Usually if it comes on weekdays, then just work and.
Yeah, it's difficult. In fact, this is why the Vedic society was much more supportive, because people who just for the religious festivals, they were just that's why they call holidays. The holy days, the sacred days, by which one should keep them apart and not doing, not be distracted by the usual things. So you can concentrate more, relax more, and be happier doing it. But okay, we do what we can do. Okay, so happy Ekadashi, and we'll talk again. Thank you for participating. Jai
Thank you
Jagannath.
for giving your time.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was not regular in last couple of weeks, but yeah, hopefully going
What
forward
to
we would
do?
be.
What to do?